You're with Clement Manyathela
on 702.
Let's walk the talk. Streaming on the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856.
92.7 and 106 FM.
Minutes after 9 o'clock. Dumela. Happy Friday. Welcome to the Clement Manyathela Show. It's wonderful to have you with us here on 702. I hope you're well this morning. I hope your week has been going well so far. It's a Friday, and every Friday we do Gratitude Friday. This is where you can call us on 011-883-0702 or send a WhatsApp on 072-702-1702 to tell us what you are grateful for this week. We would like to celebrate with you. It's important for us to be grateful, whether for the big or small wins. So, what are you grateful for this week? Did you hear that shocking story on Eyewitness News about the testimony of Sergeant Nkosi at the Madlanga Commission? I have been irritated by a number of witnesses there who are just flatly telling lies. They think we're children. Their explanations are ridiculously unexplainable and unintelligent, which makes you wonder how these people even got to occupy some of the senior positions they have. And I have to say, this witness is the one that really gets to me. And I thought Shibiri was, I thought Sinona was, and I thought all the others that have appeared before. As much is revealed about their actions and their possible corruption. This witnessed Sergeant Nkosi at the Madlanga Commission was trying to explain why the city of Tshwane's chief financial officer was assisting his brother with tender documents. And he told the commission that the paper was to apply for a contract at a municipality that doesn't even exist. He testified that the city of Tshwane CFO, Gareth Mnisi, helped his brother apply for a tender at the Matthew Posa municipality in Mpumalanga. But such a municipality doesn't even exist in Mpumalanga or even in South Africa, from what the commission said. So the commission has asked this man, Sergeant Nkosi, to provide the inquiry with evidence of his brother applying for the tender at this non-existent municipality. But also, why is the CFO of Tshwane busy helping someone apply for a tender? WhatsApp messages before the Madlanga Commission show that this Sergeant Nkosi and this CFO, Gareth Mnisi, were regularly in contact over a security tender at the metro. And their messages show that Nkosi wanted a tender to go to his brother's company, but there was an issue as the company was not compliant with at least 12 of the bid specifications listed for the tender. But that didn't stop them from trying to make a plan. Why is a compromised cop, potentially highly corrupt cop, who is linked to the taxi industry bosses and alleged criminals like Ket Batala, getting involved in tenders in Tshwane, speaking to MMCs, speaking with CFOs? Tshwane seems to be the focus of the Madlanga Commission, much like we saw with Ekurhuleni. I mean, already this focus on Tshwane has claimed its first victim, ActionSA MMC Khulufelo Morodi, who is now on special leave. The party has also suspended her membership pending the outcome of its investigation. I mean, this MMC was busy sending internal tender documents to the same Sergeant Nkosi. Can the focus move to Johannesburg, please? Because clearly this rot exists far deeper than we've ever thought in these metros. What do you think of what's been revealed so far at the Madlanga Commission yesterday? What do you think of this Sergeant Nkosi? He was close to the taxi boss, Mswazi Msibi. He was close to Ket Matala. He was close to Shadrach Sibiya. Now we learn he was close to the Tshwane CFO, who is helping him with tenders. He was close to the MMC in Tshwane, the ActionSA MMC, who was busy sending him tender documents. Who's next? Who else is he close to? And what does this tell you about this man? Because it really looks like there's a serious syndicate here. We need the Madlanga Commission to pay some attention to Johannesburg after Tshwane. Please. 011-883-0702. Share your thoughts on 072-702-1702. I'm going to bring in quickly our colleague Thabiso Koba to give us some details about what was revealed at the Madlanga Commission yesterday about Tshwane. And I wonder if we will at some point shift the focus to Johannesburg. I really hope that's going to be the case. And then in the US, it seems President Donald Trump is looking for an exit strategy from this war in Iran. This war has no direction whatsoever, no strategy. And perhaps the problem is that when the US entered into it, it had no business to do so. Listen to what Tulsi Gabbard, the Director of National Intelligence, said yesterday when she appeared before lawmakers. She couldn't answer a basic, simple question.
The White House stated on March 1st of this year that this war was launched and was, quote, a military campaign to eliminate the imminent nuclear threat posed by the Iranian regime, end quote. Was it the assessment of the intelligence community that there was an imminent nuclear threat posed by the Iranian regime?
The intelligence community assessed that Iran maintained the intention to rebuild and to continue to grow their nuclear enrichment capability.
Was it the assessment of the intelligence community that there was a, quote, imminent nuclear threat posed by the Iranian regime, yes or no?
Senator, the only person who can determine what is and is not an imminent threat is the president.
False. This is the worldwide threats hearing where you present to Congress national intelligence, timely, objective, and independent of political considerations. You've stated today that the intelligence community's assessment is that Iran's nuclear enrichment program was obliterated and that, quote, there had been no efforts since then to try to rebuild their enrichment capability. Was it the intelligence community's assessment that nevertheless, despite this obliteration, there was a, quote, imminent nuclear threat posed by the Iranian regime? Yes or no?
It is not the intelligence community's responsibility to determine what is and is not an imminent threat.
Are you kidding me? It is not the intelligence community to determine whether America faced an imminent threat. Who is supposed to make an assessment as to whether there's an imminent nuclear threat or not? Because Tulsi Gabbard seems to suggest that it's Trump who makes the determination. But Trump makes that determination based on what information? Based on what intelligence? Do you think President Cyril Ramaphosa just wakes up one day and says, oh, we face a nuclear threat from Zimbabwe because it came from a dream? It's got to come from an intelligence community. They're supposed to brief the president and say, this is what we found in Zimbabwe, Mr. President. And the president then makes that determination based on information from an intelligence community. Tulsi Gabbard, the director of national intelligence, says it's Trump who has to make that decision. So if Trump wakes up tomorrow and says South Africa is a threat to the US, what? We're supposed to just take it and we can't ask what information Trump relied on? This is quite extraordinary. And I feel like she was just trying to avoid contradicting President Trump because she's been here before. Remember last year, she contradicted Trump when she said the US clearly had no evidence that Iran is building a nuclear weapon. Joe Kent, who is the director of National Counterterrorism Center, we spoke about him the other day. He was on Tucker Carlson's show and he told Tucker that there was no imminent threat. And remember, Joe Kent was reporting to Tulsi Gabbard. It's wild. And then now we learn that the largest natural gas field has now been attacked by Israel. The South Pars gas field is shared by Iran and Qatar. President Trump says they knew nothing about this attack by Israel, and Trump has made an assurance that no more attacks will be made by Israel on this important energy infrastructure, which is quite an interesting response from Donald Trump. And Tulsi Gabbard couldn't even explain yesterday whether there was any knowledge from the U.S. side that Israel was going to attack this important infrastructure. I mean, Trump tweeted in bold and said, there will be no more attacks from Israel on the oil fields because these are no-go zones. And he said, we didn't even know that Israel was going to attack this important energy infrastructure. Listen to how Tulsi Gabbard responded to that when she was asked about this attack by Israel.
So the death and destruction continues. The economic cost to the United States, to Israel, to the Gulf states, and to the world continues to increase. So I want to ask you, to the best of your knowledge, do you know whether Israel is supportive of the president's call to make a deal with Iran?
I don't know the answer to that. I don't know Israel's position on that.
And to what do you attribute Israel's decision to strike Iranian energy infrastructure, despite President Trump's call to keep those facilities off limits?
I don't have an answer for that.
Yo, Aike. Share your thoughts. 011-883-0702.
Clement Manyathela, streaming on the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856
92.7
and 106 FM.
Lulu, you're calling us from Centurion. Good morning.
Morning, Clement. Gosh, we need more of this gratitude feature because with all the chaos that's happening, we could do with some lift me up news.
Absolutely.
But thank you. I'm grateful, super grateful for my small business, which I started 2.5 years ago. I'm grateful that the business is still standing and it's just growing from strength to strength. Yes.
Oh, that's amazing. So it's been, 2 years now?
2.5. It will be 3 years actually in August.
That's amazing. What does your business do, Lulu?
So I custom make exquisite fascinator hats for all occasions for women.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Where do you operate from?
I work from home. So I went to sewing school and I learned how to make those, and I sew those I just turned one of my kids' room when they moved out and turned it into a small studio. So
That's
I work
nice.
from home.
Okay, how do we support you? Let's plug you, Lulu. How can people support the business?
Okay, so we're on social media on TikTok and Instagram as Lady Lou Designs. Lady Lou as one word, Designs. And that's where people can find us. They can see our gorgeous designs. And yes, and we actually get a lot of leads from social media, or TikTok and Instagram. So that's where we are most popular, I should say.
Oh,
Yes.
perfect. Lady Lou on social media. Thank you so much for your call, Lulu. And thank you for being grateful. Because sometimes we focus on, the business is not doing well. But when it does do well, when you've been able to hold on and you're about, just like Lulu, to get into your third, second or first, and to wrap up your first year, just be grateful for that. There's so much going on in the world right now that is negative, and it's just important for us to pause and say, I'm grateful. I'm grateful that I was able to wake up this morning. I'm grateful that I've got a roof. I'm grateful I still have a job I enjoy, and listeners that I love talking to every single day. We need to learn to be grateful. Tulani, you're calling us from Centurion. What do you want to say about the Sergeant in Nkosi?
Hi, morning, Clem. Firstly, thank you very much for that masterclass on the F1.
Yeah, did it help?
I'm informed. Yeah, it
really
great. Helped.
Thank you. You are the one that called to ask for it,
Yes.
no? Perfect. Thank you, Tulani.
Yes, I'm the one.
We did
Thank
that
you
for
very
you.
much. Yeah, thank you. Clement, you asked a question what we think about that such and Nkosi.
Yeah.
Pathetic is what I say. Pathetic. But I say one thing that I want to say, Clement, is that this is a microcosm of what is happening throughout the country.
Yeah.
If a commission of inquiry was to be established for any government department, any municipality, any of the provincial government departments, the same will come out. The same thing will come out. So this is just a microcosm of what is happening throughout the country. And what really annoys me about this whole thing is we are actually controlled by people that are, for lack of a better word, I'll just leave it at that, but for like people that are like Sergeant Nkosi and his kin. And those are the people that are actually having power in this country.
Yeah.
Those are the people that are having power in this country. But it is a and I'm actually shocked that people are disenchanted and find this egregious. But it's something we all know. Clement, I think you know this. I know this. Everybody knows this. It is the same thing that happens every single municipality, government department, and anything else. So we shouldn't be shocked. If it were, according to me, we would have to establish an inquiry for all these municipalities.
I think we should. Tulani, I'm willing. If government were to say, please, can you contribute as taxpayers? Can we take 1% more just so that we open up commissions in other metros? I would be the first one to raise my hand and say I'm happy with that, because and you take the Madlanga Commission team.
Yeah.
You take them and you say, go to Tshwane, go to Mfuleni. I would definitely do it, because wow, the rot is shocking. Tulani in Centurion, thanks for your call. It's 9:24.
Your voice,
Your station.
your open line
Walk the talk with Clement Manyathela.
on 702.
9:27. Thabiso Goba is our colleague at Eyewitness News. He's been following on the Madlanga Commission, and I've asked him to come into studio just to brief us a little bit about this Sergeant Nkosi. Thabiso, thank you for popping in. Good morning.
Good morning, Clement.
So this is the guy we used to know as Witness F, because he tried all sorts of tricks not to appear before the commission, and then he ended up in hospital at some point.
Yeah.
And then he came out because he was trying to avoid. So now we understand why he was trying so hard to delay his testimony. One of the things that shocked me yesterday was this conversation about a municipality that doesn't even exist. Has he provided evidence of this municipality?
I mean, he was asked to bring that evidence today. It will be interesting to find out whether he does. The background of it is that he was engaging with the CFO at the Tshwane municipality, Mr. Gareth Mnisi, but also the TMPD's security chief about a tender. And then they was like, why were you engaging the senior officials about a tender? Why couldn't you just apply normally? And it's like, oh no, we're actually talking about a tender in Mpumalanga. And then it was like, which Mpumalanga? And then it's like, oh, Sir Matthews Posa municipality, and he was there to guard a mall. Now, I mean, government doesn't build malls, 1. 2, Matthews Posa municipality doesn't exist. So it's going to be interesting what he comes up with today when they asked him to give evidence of that.
Oh my. So this CFO, because I'm seeing it, there's a more reaction towards the MMC who sent these internal tender documents to Sergeant Nkosi, but I'm not seeing a lot of outrage towards the CFO. Even when I looked and I read carefully the statement from ActionSA, they welcome the action on the MMC, but they're like, when it comes to the CFO, they're saying this is politically convenient. It almost sounds like they're defending him. What's going on?
I mean, I don't know if this is connected, Clement. So a couple of weeks ago, we did a story around some allegations around the CFO. The CFO in 2024, he unfortunately went through a very messy divorce, and that divorce ended up in the High Court. And as a result of the divorce ending up in the High Court, those divorce papers were of public knowledge. Now, what came out from that divorce is that this man is incredibly rich. Like, his net worth is around in the 80 million rand. And the problem with that is, 1, he's 36. 2, according to the CV that is provided to the municipalities, only ever worked at government places. So there's obviously, and 3, obviously he has a lot of properties and business interests, and apparently there are allegations that he didn't declare all of those to the municipality. As a senior official, you're supposed to obviously declare all your properties and business interests. So there was those allegations around him. And the municipality council met in an in-committee meeting where they were supposed to vote on whether he was supposed to be investigated. However, there was some administrative issues, so that vote never happened. And now, obviously, we are now here at the Madlanga Commission, where we actually see that he's very implicated in terms of this Sergeant Kosi. We know that Sergeant Kosi is sort of like this concierge of crime. He has links to taxi bosses, senior police officials, controversial businessmen, and now the CFO is also intricately linked with this man, and they've been discussing those tenders. And we do hope that today we actually might get a bit of proof, because what we've discussed so far, even with those tenders from Julius Malema, those tenders from ActionSA that are implicated them, there hasn't been much proof whether those tenders did actually go to those people. So we are really hoping that today we actually do get to the substance of that.
But the basic question here is, does a CFO have any business discussing tenders of a municipality with a private citizen whose brother is trying to get the very same tenders?
No, it's a clear conflict of interest. And I do obviously have to say here that he is not obviously a political player. He is an administrative official. And if he were to get any action taken against him, that action has to come from the Tshwane City Manager, Mr. Johan Medler.
Yo, Thabiso Goba, thank you so much. We'll follow your reports throughout the day. This is quite crazy. A CFO is busy discussing tenders with a guy, Sergeant Nkosi, who is very compromised, completely compromised. He has no business discussing tenders with this Sergeant Nkosi, whose brother was busy trying to get the very same tenders. 80 million rand, his net worth. He's only 36 years old, has only worked in government, has not declared his interests, properties, and he is still in charge in the city of Tshwane. How does the mayor even explain that? How does the city council explain that? I have not seen any action taken against him. Everybody is excited about the MMC. I was shocked by ActionSA's statement that said it's the allegations against the CFO are politically convenient. What do you mean? He was busy talking about tenders with a private citizen whose brother is applying for the same tenders. He has no business doing that. That's conflict of interest. And you saying the allegations are politically convenient? Maybe it makes sense why there's no action against him, because he's got some level of protection from these political parties. It's quite shocking and revolting. It's 9:33.
Your open line
Walk the talk with Clement Manyathela.
on 702.
It's 22 minutes before 10 o'clock.
Morning 702, morning Clement. What I'm grateful for, I started running since the year started, and I must say I'm feeling great. I've lost a bit of weight, I'm sleeping better at night. I've even registered for the Johannesburg City Marathon that's happening this Sunday. I signed up for the 21 Ks, so I'm grateful for that. But now my heart is shattered because I woken up with a swollen knee. I don't know if I should risk to go and do the 21 Ks or I shouldn't participate. But that's what I'm grateful for. I'm feeling better, much more healthy, lost weight, sleep better at night, but now my knee is swollen. Don't know if that's a good or bad omen. Lovely show, thanks.
Thanks, man. I think, just please don't risk it. Maybe see a biokineticist or someone who can check it out. One thing I've learned this year is do not go to run when you're not okay. Otherwise, you'll be like me, who knocked at the point of death. And I don't want that. Like I ended up in hospital because I really pushed it. I went to run a marathon that was tough when I was not okay. So my advice would be just take it easy. You can do 21 some other time, but nurse your knee for now.
Good morning, Clement. Happy Friday. This morning I'm grateful for the opportunity. I got a new job and we'll be starting the 1st of April. So today is my last day at my current employer. In a time in South Africa where jobs are really scarce, I'm really grateful to have gotten this opportunity. And I'm also grateful that I'm leaving my current job. Not that I was unhappy, but I'm leaving for growth purposes. I know sometimes we leave jobs when we're unhappy and we are maybe frustrated, but my current job was such an amazing experience. I've grown, I've made great connections, and and we are such a great family. And that's why I'm very sad about today that I'm leaving, but I am leaving because of personal growth. So I'm really, really grateful for that and for this new opportunity. It's Pearl here in Pretoria.
Thank you, Pearl. We celebrate with you. All the best with the new job and congratulations.
Your voice.
Your station.
Your open line.
Walk the talk with Clement Manyathela
on 702.
Good morning, Clement. It must be so difficult to work for Donald Trump, because a person that just decides to do things without consultations, it doesn't look like he even discusses what messaging should be communicated around this war. He just decides to say things. And then now, people that work in his administration, they have to be questioned on these things. And it's very hard to say, to answer questions, especially regarding somebody who might wake up and decide their opinion is something else. It must be so frustrating.
Locha, Mr. Manyathela. On the war in Iran, I agree with you that there's no clear objective there. Hence why Congress still has not approved the war, by the way. Trump is there without the approval of Congress. He's pulling other countries, but Congress still has not approved this thing. But I think it's about the oil. Hence why Trump has given an instruction that Iran's oil infrastructure should not be destroyed, because that's what he cares about. That's what he's in there for. He wants their oil. Same reason why he did the operation go Venezuela. It's all about oil. He did say drill, baby, drill. That's what he wants.
Yeah, it's quite extraordinary. Let's go to some more WhatsApp voice notes on 072-702-1702 responding to this situation in Tshwane.
Good morning, Clement. Clement, we are in a problem, big problem. This country is run by criminals, thugs. Just imagine a lone-ranking sergeant controlling all these generals. There's no respect. I mean, during our times in the police, my brother, we used to respect. If you're a sergeant, constable, or warrant officer, there is a respect. You respect from captain upwards. You don't even mix up with those people. But today, it's just business as usual. Just imagine, the mayor, the deputy mayor of Tshwane, he's implicated in lots of mess in this country. But we continue to say, no, this is our country. This is our South Africa. No, it can't be. Thank you. Let me choose to be anonymous. Thank you.
Hey, Clement. About this corruption in municipalities and. I actually think even proper auditing, proper, sincere, responsible auditing of these government entities would yield results without even spending on another commission. Yeah, Chitembi.
Good morning, Clement. Also from Naledi. Inspector Nkosi, about this Matthew Posa municipality, you might find that it's a ghost municipality. I'm just saying, can we look into it? Let us not take it lightly. There might be a lot of ghost municipalities known to the governing party. So may we check into that. May our investigators go into that, look into that deep, and find out how many more municipalities are there that are ghost. Because I can imagine how much money is going into those municipalities that are not existing. This Clement, photo from Naledi.
Morning, Clement. Tsapo here from Boxburg. Clement, if we were about to establish a commission for every municipality and then for every government department, I'm telling you, most of people will lose their jobs, because like the previous caller said, we know these things happen. Like they happen every day. Like we South Africans knows who's corrupt, knows who's not corrupt. Like we know them. And then like I said, I don't know if I'll be exaggerating to say 70% of them, they are corrupt. So I don't know. But then I wish such commission can be established so that we can take out the road of the offices and then of the municipalities.
Yeah.
Thanks. Great show as always, Clement.
Look, and I'm not saying that even if the commission focuses on Tshwane or on Johannesburg, all the rot is going to be rooted out. I don't think in Ekurhuleni, for instance, we even have touched or scratched the surface. I don't think so. I think this is really just a little bit of what is out there. So, but it's still important, at least in my view. It's still important for this to be revealed because at least we have taken out some bad apples. A lot of people are going to be fired. Yeah, let people lose their jobs if they've been found to be corrupt, if they've been found to do things that are irregular and illegal. What's that Latin legal principle again? That Latin legal phrase? Fiat justitia ruat salam, meaning let justice be done though the heavens fall. And what this signifies is the belief that justice must be realized regardless of the consequences.
Voice.
Your station.
Your open line.
Walk the talk with Clement Manyathela
on 702.
It's going up to 10 minutes before 10 o'clock.
Clement, it's so fascinating how South Africans are always surprised and shocked. We all know, guys, the rot begins at the top. And there's all these coincidences that a distant nephew of the president is milking so much money and his mom was the head of the Department of Health in Limpopo for the longest time. And then the president had foreign currency, tens of millions in rands. Till today, there hasn't been any proper explanation of that money because we all know Mustafa, the man who sells Ankolis, does not exist. So, come on, guys. If that is happening at the highest office in the land, imagine everything else that's happening down here. Come on.
Yeah.
We're still surprised. Awa.
That's true. I'm actually just replaying, guys, I think the country needs a cleansing ceremony. Really. No, not for the ANC, for this country. We need a prayer. We need a cleanse. Think of the scandals we've just dealt with in recent time. We had to deal with al-Bashir, whom our government just let escape. Our government is the signatory to the ICC. The obligation is that we have to arrest this man if he lands and sets foot here. What did we do? Allowed him to come attend the conference and we said, just escape, go this way. It was an embarrassment for us. And then Prophet Bushiri, who can forget that? He also escaped. We still don't know how he left this country and how he entered Malawi. What an embarrassment. We're a joke. The Guptas landed their plane at Waterkloof Air Force Base. That left us embarrassed. Mustafa arrived here without declaring his money and went to buy cattle from the president's farm. Cattle he's never even collected after years of having purchased it cash with money he didn't even declare. How's that not embarrassing? What else has left us with egg on our face? Grace Mugabe assaulted someone, was given a warning statement and had to hand herself over to a police station. She didn't. She left. Just like that. Thabo Bester. Oh my God. We're an embarrassment. We are. It's just so shocking that these are the things we deal with. Now we have someone who tells us, it's clear, he's talking to a CFO about tenders in Tshwane. He's trying to deflect and says, no, this was about something else in a municipality that he must now provide proof exists. We're a joke. Please pray for this country.
Clement, good morning. Clement, I'm just worried about this Falinkosi guy, man. This guy has been employed as a surgeon, as a policeman. But he's spending most of his time, organizing tenders for this one, being the middleman, doing the opposite of what he was supposed to be doing. So in other ways, he has been stealing money from the government, doing dodgy things. So I also think that they need to be charged for that, Clement. They really need to be charged for that. Thank you.
Clement, we don't need a cleansing ceremony, a cleansing prayer. We need a cleansing election. We can do it. The population can do it. It's simple. Just don't vote for the ANC.
Mr. Clement, just when I thought I've heard enough, or I've heard the worst from the likes of Senona, and then Vumbu, here is this guy. I'm beginning to think, how about Madlanga Commission investigate like the whole of South Africa? The whole of South Africa, all the municipalities in South Africa. How about that? And I so wish before they could go focus on Johannesburg municipality, can they focus on Sekhukhune, Fetahomu Sekhukhune municipality? Ward 34, that's where I am from. Fetahomu local municipality. Fetahomu Sekhukhune local municipality, Ward 34. The worst is happening there, Mr. Clement. Last one here.
Morning, Clement. Point of correction, Clement. We don't need prayer anymore. Prayers have been said and have been answered because the exposure, it looks like the answers that have been, that has arrived. So now what needs to be done is this. People should account. Now we must take action. And it is written, we've got our constitution, we know what to do with those people. So we don't need to ask ourselves what is happening and play as if we are surprised and whatnot. We're not surprised, we know what's happening. People are doing what they are doing because they are taking advantage of us as South Africans. They are not patriots enough. People must account, Clement.
Yeah, Lawrence on the WhatsApp line says, Clement, you forgot to mention Tiger. Bill, I'm really tired. You know when you're exhausted from confusion and betrayal. Remember Tiger? Tiger, who was one of the kingpins in illegal mining in the Northwest. The police what's the name of that mine in the Northwest where Tiger escaped? Stilfontein. The police were there in their numbers, arresting illegal miners who were coming out of that abandoned mine. And when Tiger came out, they put him in a nice fancy car and they took him somewhere. He's probably sipping on some nice cocktails on an island somewhere because the police helped him escape. You and I still don't know where that man is today. How are we not a joke? And the examples I've used, I'm sure I'm forgetting others. How are we not a joke? When Bushiri can just escape, when Thabo Bester can escape jail and get our government to believe he's dead until a civilian sees him shopping at Woolies. How can we have a kingpin? The police told us that's a kingpin, whom they help escape instead of sending to jail. How do we have someone who has left millions here without declaring that cash, and we are told, no, he came to buy cattle, but he never came to fetch it? Have you ever gone to a shop to buy a couch and years later you still haven't fetched it? How does that make sense? Clips once. It's 2 minutes before 10.